beautiful soul. Welcome back to Reset and Rise. I'm your host, Coach Sabrina Woods, and today, this podcast is the space where we get real. No filters, no fluff, just honesty. Raw conversations to help you reclaim your identity, regulate your emotions, and build a life that finally feels like yours. And today, we're going to talk about emotional intelligence, or what I like to call the key to not losing your mind when life comes at you sideways. This one is personal, and I'm going to take you behind the scenes of my emotional chaos and show you how I turn it into clarity and how you can too. First, let me start with a confession. I used to be emotionally hijacked. My reactions were loud. My silence was louder. I'd go from fine to furious in seconds, and I had no idea why. I wanted so badly to be seen, validated, and understood. And when I didn't get that, I shut down or I blow up. I lived in a constant state of emotional survival. But let me tell you something real. I was that little girl who felt unsafe in her own life. I dreamed about living in the school bathroom. That stall became my imaginary apartment. It was a place only I could think clearly, I can breathe deeply and not feel judged. But what I didn't know back then was I was building an emotional wall instead of emotional awareness. And that pattern followed me into adulthood. I was stuck in blame. I was angry without knowing what I was truly angry about. I mistook validation for love, and my emotions were calling the shots. So let's talk about exactly what it means when we're building our EQ. But we got to understand what emotional intelligence is, right? It's not just about being in touch with your feelings. Emotional intelligence is the ability to, one, recognize what you're feeling. Two, understanding why you're feeling it. And three, learning to manage your reactions. And then we respond, number four, with intentions instead of impulse. So here's a breakdown of the 4 core pillars of EQ. Number 1, self-awareness. This is the foundation. You must know what you feel to heal. So some questions to ask yourself around what you're feeling could sound like, what emotion am I experiencing right now in this moment? What triggered this? And how is this emotion influencing my thoughts and actions? The next pillar will be self-management. This is your ability to regulate those emotions, not suppress them, but manage them. You're not stuffing down your feelings. You're sitting with them. You're processing them. And you are choosing how to move forward with clarity. Third pillar would be our social awareness. This is reading the emotional energy of others, learning empathy, paying attention to nonverbal cues, and being present with people without projecting your stuff onto them. And finally, relationship management is the fourth pillar. Once you've got awareness and empathy, This is where you show up. You communicate better and you handle conflict with grace. And you begin to set boundaries without guilt. But here's the truth most of us were never taught. We learn to react, to hide, to avoid, and to explode. And we also learn to shut down. This is why this work matters so much. We are in midlife now. We are unlearning years of emotional survival, and we're finally learning how to thrive. But let's slow it down with an activity I personally use on myself and with my clients. It's called Name It to Tame It. Grab a journal, your note app, or even a sticky note right now and ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? And what do I need to do right now? Be very specific with your language. Instead of saying, I'm mad or I'm angry, try saying, I feel rejected because I didn't get a response for someone that I cared about. I need reassurance or clarity. When you name your emotion, you reclaim your power. Your nervous system begins to calm and your brain moves from survival to solution. I like to call that our wise brain thinking. Try this every day for a week. It will change your relationship with yourself. But ladies, let's talk about rewiring the emotional script. And how do we do that? Incantations. I know you hear me speak of these often. These are not just affirmations you whisper once in a while. Incantations are statements spoken out loud with emotion, energy, and intention. Why? Because they engage your physiology and rewire your brain through repetition. You're literally replacing the old narrative with a new one. So try these with me. Say them out loud. Feel them. If you heard me say this before, get in your fighting stance. Knuckle up, back straight, and I want you to say, I am not my emotions. I own my emotions. My worth is not based on others' validation. I release the need to be chosen. I choose me. I feel fully and respond wisely. And when you say these, ladies, I want you to stand up, move, feel it in your body. This is where neuroscience meets soul work. And if you're listening to this thinking, wow, I've never looked at my emotions this way, good. That's the point. That's the work we do in coaching. I work with women who are tired of being stuck in emotional cycles. Women who spend their lives taking care of others, neglecting their needs, and losing their self in the process. Through one-on-one coaching, guided journals, challenges, and courses, I help you come home to yourself. We don't just slap a just think positive sticker on deep wounds. We get honest, we do the work, and we rise. And if you're curious about how coaching could change your emotional life, subscribe, stick with me, reach out, because you deserve support. You deserve the tools. You deserve to understand you. Much of this information I did not have when I started my own journey. I worked in multiple areas trying to rebuild myself into who I want to be. The deeper part of me had an awareness that my emotions were totally controlling me in every way. I was giving my power away to everyone. So to the woman who's still living in her own version of that school bathroom stall, I see you. You don't have to stay hidden. You don't have to carry the shame, the blame, the exhaustion. Emotional intelligence is not just a personality trait, it's a skill, and it's never too late to learn. Start small, name one feeling today, say one incantation with power, take back one moment of emotional control. That's how we heal, that's how we reset, and that's how we rise. This has been a Reset and Rise Midlife with Coach Sabrina Woods, and I am so proud of you for showing up for this conversation. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share this information with a sister who needs it. You may not need it, but we all know another lady who self-sabotages herself, who allows her emotions to control her. So share it. Share it to her. Plant that seed. I was that woman that needed this information. There's no judgment. There's no shame. There's no blame. We cannot beat ourselves up for the information we do not have. But once we get the information, it's on us to make changes. So until next time, be kind to yourself, ladies. Talk to you soon.